So guys, I wanted to do a video about 5 changes that I would do that were suggested by the feedback that players did on the post of the Planet Battle Rating changes coming this month that I would actually like to see in the game. So let's talk about 5 of them. Of course, there is literally 3,000 posts there, so there is a lot of them that I couldn't just read everything, right? And yeah, I'm gonna focus a little bit more on aircraft as well. There are many feedbacks that are very good there, but I need to focus on 5 of them to be able to have a video, right? So let's start with something that I've been talking about. And again, guys, these are things that a lot of people are asking for on that post, right? A lot of people are basically suggesting the things that I'm gonna say here in various posts. So it's not coming from me, it's more coming from the community itself, but I agree with these 5, okay? The first one is that the F14B and F14A needs to go down in BR, but rather than that, I would prefer, and a lot of people would too, that the F14A would receive the M9L since it is 12.7, and the F14B would be using the M9M at 13.0. That would make a lot more sense. Remember, guys, especially the F14B. The F14B is an aircraft that entered in service in what, 1987, something along those lines, right? A time where like the BR is proper to that aircraft at that time, but at that time, it did use the M9M, so it just makes sense. The F14A, I can understand that maybe it's an early model or whatever, but it is still kind of weird that we have a 4th generation jet like the F14A that lacks on the performance side of things compared to an F16, for example, and it doesn't have the M9Ls. So for balancing purposes, and a lot of people were asking for either both of these things go down or receive these missiles. In my opinion, I prefer them to receive the missile because we already knew that they were not really working very well in a lower BR as well. They were stomping a lot of things, so it would be cool to have them with the missiles, okay? The second one a lot of people asked for as well, but it's more of an honorable mention than anything else. They were asking for the F4C to maybe remain at the 10.3, but to receive 2 modifications, the AIM-7E and the AM8, I think it's called, or something like that, which is basically it's the AQ8, sorry, which is, although not a proper flare and chaff countermeasure system for the F4C, it is an IRCM. I don't know how effective this thing would be, but it is basically the same type of system that the Heinz and the Su-25Ts have, right? So I don't know, like I said, how effective this thing was in real life, because it's a 60 system, and I mean, IRSTs, IRCMs from this time, they didn't work very well, but still, in the game, if it did work, it would be cool to see the F4C with this, together with the AIM-7E, if it ever used them. I think it did. Some people were saying that it did, to remain at the current BR. It would be cool, in my opinion. It would be more of a like almost the late 60s F4C, right? Instead of the mid 60s version that we have right now. So I think it would be cool. Maybe it's just not that important, but it would be cool, right? Another one is the Brazilian AMX to go down in BR. Some people were asking for 10.7, just like the normal Tech 3 one. But honestly, like 11.0 would already help this thing. This thing is awful to play. I'm talking about in RRB, of course. And this thing is awful to play in RRB. It doesn't have the speed, it doesn't have the dogfighting capability, especially because of the speed to fight the BRs that it's facing. And it's only fighting those BRs because of the Piranha, which is a Brazilian missile, right? Which is one of the best missiles in the game in terms of turning and everything. It's 45 Gs, but the thing is, it doesn't have IRCCM, so it's very easily flareable, and it's not really a missile that I think brings too much to the table compared to the M9L because of that. So due to all these reasons, a lot of people are asking for this thing to go to 11.0. 11.3 feels too high for RRB for this thing. It would coincident coincidentally use the same BR as the ground matches for it. So yeah. Another one that I think deserves a little bit of love is the British Phantoms, guys. The British Phantoms, I mean the FGR, of course the FGR2 and the FG1, they're both aircraft that suffer a lot. They don't have an internal gun, so you have to take the pod, which is problematic sometimes because of performance. They do have the best engines of all F4s ever used, if I'm not mistaken. The Rolls-Royce Pace, they are very strong, but at the same time you don't have the Agile Eagle, I don't think. Yeah, you don't. And you have a radar that, although it is full stopper, it is limited. So together with that, it has A9Gs, which is okay. A lot of 12.0s can have that, but then it uses the normal Sky Flash, the dogfight one, a way worse missile than the AIM-7F, right? So because of all these reasons, I have a feeling that this thing might deserve a lower BR, an 11.7, especially because of the Sparrows, and not having the Agile Eagle. It just makes these aircraft a really, really hard aircraft to fly sometimes, and it's just not really worth to even touch normally. It's really, really, really bad. The F4S, for example, or J, that are in the same BR, have AIM-7Fs, they have Agile Eagle, and yeah, it's just a much, much better aircraft in general, right? So I just think that it deserves a lower BR because of that. And the last one, something that honestly I didn't give too much attention and I wasn't going to include in the video, but I guess I gotta say, I talk a little bit about it, and it is the Kfir C7. This thing is 12.0 because of the Pythons, but it is very easy to flare these missiles, and it doesn't have BVR, it doesn't have a radar. The performance is pretty good, but I mean, it's still lacking compared to some of the stuff that you see sometimes. So a lot of people are asking for this thing to go down in BR to 11.7, and I can kind of agree. These aircraft can suffer a lot depending on the type of top tier that it gets. Remember, 12.0s can get in fights against 13.0s, which are 4th generation jets with IRCCM missiles. So this thing probably shouldn't be seeing those. It's good, but it's not that good. You cannot take the punch of an F-15. An F4S, it's almost even asking too much about it, but at least it has the BVR and the radar, right? This thing doesn't have almost anything to fight those things. And yeah, guys, basically this is it. These are 5 examples that I would change in those planet battle rating changes that are coming. Of course, there are many, many others. I will leave the link in the description for all the feedbacks that they talk about. And I gotta say, you know, they already closed the feedback, like, comment sections, but at the same time, we need to just wait for them to actually do the update. So it's not like you can do more feedback on it, but I honestly wanted to talk about, I think, what is the most fun ones, the main ones that I think I would change, at least in a very small list like this. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.